pain that was felt. Shit, I was in the jam. Shit, I needed help. But Twan was locked up in the drugs, put man on the shelf. Had me crying cause it felt like I was left by myself. All I wanted was to impress niggas with my grinding. Now I ain't trying to prove shit to nobody but Muhammad. Cause most these niggas lie, pump smoke. One time for the most high, he made me a cutthroat. Cause all I ever wanted was to smash my opponents. Stacking cash, not knowing it wouldn't last. Then God, I hope you accept my atonement. Cause all I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was a gangster. Decisions that I made before the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was a gangster. Decisions that I made before the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster.
I just wanna see my enemies fall. Yeah, hey, look, I just wanna bow. Told my niggas stand tall, cause we about to go and get it out. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Look at them 20s where they crawl. I've been praying that my enemies fall. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Hell, I hope you bow too. And that be why I gotta keep it true. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Just give me what I'm due. Let my enemies see the living proof, Lord. I just wanna bow. Trying to build my own city, homie. Enough room to put my niggas on it. Then start a couple business on it. Fuck any heathen, never shitting on me. Yeah. Public housing we done lived through. Trying to put that in my rear view. Gold rolls, what I still do. I can see the picture with a clear view. Gotta separate the snakes and all you fuck niggas that's gon' hate. Daily pray to God I don't catch another case. But that's a small risk that I feel I gotta take. Only certain niggas, they gon' feel this. Still deliver verses on that real shit. If I get a couple million, I'ma bust this shit down with these children. I just wanna bow. Told my niggas stand tall, cause we about to go and get it out. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Look at them 20s where they crawl. I've been praying that my enemies fall. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Hell, I hope you bow too. And that be why I gotta keep it true. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Just give me what I'm due. Let my enemies see the living proof, Lord. I just wanna bow. Don't get up out of bounds, homie. Got killers with them rounds on them. Look like I'm fed from the drum. Look, don't make me make the reaper rain down on them. I can give a fuck if you rock blue. And I was Suwoo from the Fruittown crew. Cops still shoot us every time we move. They hate you, nigga, like they hate me too. Just know that Brotherhood is a weapon. Build another zone, then protect it. Too many sisters in the city been molested. Now I'm stacking soldiers off the block like it's Tetris. Woo! Know that truth, it give you chills, don't it? Steady ringing in your ears, won't it? If I'm blessed to make a meal, I'ma bust that shit down with my real homies. I just wanna bow. Told my niggas stand tall, cause we about to go and get it out. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Look at them 20s where they crawl. I've been praying that my enemies fall. Nigga, I just wanna bow. And I hope you ball too. And that be why I gotta keep it true. Nigga, I just wanna ball. Just give me what I'm due. Let my enemies see the living proof, Lord. I just wanna ball. Yeah. To all them children that grew up with parents strung out on drugs. Yeah. I just wanna ball. Hope you do too. And I hope you do too. Yeah. Man, to the brother that had a real and she left him for whatever reason. Yeah. I just wanna bow. I hope you do too. And to the sister, you know what I'm saying, that had that nigga leave her. Yeah. Nigga, I just wanna bow. So my niggas is locked up. I hope you do too. Man, I hope you niggas see the light of day. Yeah, I just wanna bow. Yeah, I just wanna bow.
Voting ain't gonna help us, man. Marching ain't gonna help us, man. Protesting ain't gonna help us, man.
What it's like for a nigga like me.
Like me.
What it's like for a nigga like me.
Like me.
What it's like for a nigga like me.
Like me.
What it's like for a nigga like me.
Like me.
What it's like for a nigga like me. Gray skies overhead, assessing looking likely. But I try to do the right thing like Spike Lee. And I talk to God, the one and almighty. Lord, please have mercy on me.
Have mercy on me. Yeah.
Lord, please have mercy on me.
Have mercy on me.
Have mercy on
Man, this
me.
shit ain't no joke, man, this shit ain't no joke. Like the boy cried wolf, I ain't blowing no smoke. You don't gotta look far to see it ain't no hope in this fucked up world. I'm just trying to stay afloat. I grew up in the ghetto in the middle of the streets, H-E-L-L, the belly of the beast. Thanksgiving came around, I wasn't having no feast when the landlord talking about breaking out lease. Goddamn, what's next? My girl broke up with your boy and she did it in a text that if I couldn't have nothing that I could have love besides love for the money and selling these drugs. Sometimes it seems like it's the only way out, but every day I'm getting older and it's getting played out. Can't end up in a pen trying to find a way out. Lord, forgive me for my sins, for my heart gave out. My dad died, biggest loss I ever had to take. He a big part of the reason I'm the man I am today. And moving on was a move I wasn't trying to make, but I got sons now, so I gotta lead them not straight. And even though success is looking unlikely, I stay mighty and pray nightly and remain doing the right thing like Spike Lee, which is hard in this life for a nigga like me. All my life I had to fight like my name's Sophia. Always had heart and in my heart was no fear. Boy, I stayed in trouble always stay near. When you black in America, that's all you cold here, I can't lie. Some days I wanna break down and cry for me and my people that's fighting to stay alive. Cause living ain't living when you living to survive. Guess we living in hell till the heavens arrive. Nah, I mean,
What it's like for a nigga like me.
like me.
What it's like for a nigga like me.
Like me.
What it's like for a nigga like me.
Like me.
What it's like for a nigga like me.
Like me.
What it's like for a nigga like me. Gray skies overhead, assessing looking likely. But I try to do the right thing like Spike Lee. And I talk to God, the one and almighty. Lord, please have mercy on me.
Have mercy on me. Yeah.
Lord, please have mercy on me.
Have mercy on me.
Have mercy on me. What it's like in this life for a nigga like me. Every day I gotta fight my demons. Wake up, thank God I'm breathing. Cause all nightmares, America's dreaming. Trying to find a way to make it while surrounded by heathens. No stress long as I got a coat and I'm eating. I'm blessed and I know the Most High's the reason. But my heart's bleeding through my sleeve is seeping. For all the things that I've been peeping. Type of shit make you say fuck it and sleeping. Cause while you was sleeping during the evening, for brothers got gunned down over the weekend. Stretched out in the streets left leaking. Laid out white sheet, mom's grieving. All lives gotta have more meaning than another nigga dead in the paper I'm reading. Baby mama bitching every time that she's speaking. Talking like she gonna take the kids as she's leaving. How we go from kids to ending up in the deep end. Sink or swim, lose or win, saint or sin. Where does the change begin? And when does the bullshit end? Cause I wake up in the morning, gotta do it again. Go to sleep, go to work and just do it again. Damn. Can't pretend, cause when you stand out, it's hard to blend. And what I stand for, don't fold or bend. Cause I heard real folks still got too many friends. Cause when you speak the truth, then you tend to offend. So, while I'm gripping this pen, Lord, please have mercy on me, amen.
It's time for my people to come together and rise up. The only way we gonna take our royalty back, man, is if we do just that, man. Take it back. Kwame Yashala, nigga. Time for us to rise out of our oppression. A wise man told me each one teach one. So I need you to reach out to your brothers and sisters and teach them, man. There's no reason we should still be getting hung from trees in this day and age, man. Lord, please have mercy on me.
Young, I don't make this beat, boy.
Is that the same shit? We live? Is that the same thing though? Yes. That shit tastes terrible this time. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what it is, but yeah, that tastes different. Maybe. But all right, let's get it on, man. Clap it up. You understand? This Isupk, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. Tonight's class is the Brotherhood class. You understand? Of course, Brotherhood is synonymous with sisterhood. The Brotherhood class is it's important for us to learn as a nation, as a people, how to be able to deal with each other on a day-to-day basis. Right? This is the class where you learn how to interact with your brother, how to interact with your sister. Where my damn shades go? Let me get my blades on. Salakia. But again, how to interact with a sister, how you understand a husband should interact with his wife, and how a wife should interact with her husband, so on and so forth. This class is to teach us how not to kill each other in the streets. That's right. Right? So that as a nation that we can actually survive. Right. Understand? It's so many times you see in history, you see a lot of organizations and pro-blackity black movements that promote the idea that we should all come together, put our funds together, put our money together, and to buy neighborhoods and to buy infrastructure, to buy land and to, create black schools and things like that, which of course that would be ideal to separate from our oppressor and to join together. But a lot of what these organizations have done in history and what they do today is solely focused on money. Right. It's solely focused financially, that you're not understanding that having money does not fix you. Right. Right? How do you know? America is the richest country on the planet Earth. It has the greatest military might on the planet Earth, government, NASA space programs, all different kinds of things that America has. They're also home to the richest families on the earth. You understand? The Rockefellers and all of them. Then you got the millionaire white families that live in Beverly Hills and Hope Valley neighborhoods and things like that. And the point that I'm trying to get at is that even with the money that they have, every serial killer is white. Right. Even with the money that they have and the rich schools that they provide for their children, the one who's shooting up the school is a white kid, right? That just goes to show you that money does not fix the problem. You understand? It can only hide it. So us using money and bringing money together and buying up a city or a neighborhood and filling black people in it, or buying a school and filling black people in it, it wouldn't survive. It wouldn't work, because you'll have gang violence in school. You'll have murder in that school. You'll have drugs being sold in that school. You'll have all kind of wicked things that's going on that happens in the world right now. You wouldn't do anything but bring those same people with the same mindset that they have, the same actions that they commit, and you will bring them right into that school or that neighborhood, and it'll destroy itself from the inside. You understand? So yeah, money is important. You understand? Money, you make your money. You go and you buy neighborhoods. You go and you buy land, and you build stores and farms and things like that. You do that. But in the meantime, in the process of doing that, we have to, for one, fix the people who was going to reside in those neighborhoods that will be built. We have to fix the brothers and sisters that's going to go get their education in those all-black schools. Otherwise, the all-black school would be like the all-black school today. You understand? Don't we have ghettos? Don't we have projects? Don't we have blocks where only black people live and white people don't want to go there? So what makes you think that just because you get some money and you go build some apartment complex that's only for black people, that it's going to turn into Beverly Hills? You just build another ghetto. You understand? Because the people who was going to fill up those apartment complexes, they're still Christian. They're still Muslim. They're still drug dealers. They're still gangbangers. They're still child molesters. They're still rapists. You understand? They're still thieves. They're everything that's wicked with our nation, which is why that is what we have to fix first. You understand? And today we're going to go into a pretty heavy topic when it comes to black families. You understand? When it comes to the relationship that a man has to his wife and a duty that a wife has to her husband. You understand? But before we get there, can we get Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1? Baba Kushai. If anybody got any questions online in the chat, just type the question in. Whether it's on this topic or if it's off this topic, you can still ask the question.
I got it.
All right, go ahead.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation, not desired.
This is talking about blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. I go over this scripture every time I teach a class in the beginning of the class because this is the most important concept that blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians have to understand. That we're not going to be able to do anything unless we do it together. We're not going to be able to build the nation or neighborhoods and schools unless we build it together. And what does that mean? Does that mean that we just all have to put our money together and buy land to build a neighborhood? No. That means that we all have to come together and be on one accord. Everything that we do has to be in togetherness. Everything that we do has to be like-minded with one another. So when Hispanics come to our neighborhood, when we go to Native American Indians neighborhoods, we have to build it with the same intent to rule this nation. Right. And to rule this nation, how do we do it? Well, we have to rule over our decision making. We have to rule over our kids. Our husbands have to rule over their wives. We have to be in order. We have to stop eating shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster. We have to stop dealing drugs and abusing and using drugs. We have to stop, you understand, murdering and gangbanging. We have to all be on the same mind, the same mindset. Otherwise, we could move to the moon and we would destroy the moon. That's right. In a matter of hours, we get there and the moon will start to destroy itself because the second you get there, some black man is going to step on your shoe. Right. And you're going to go find the biggest moon rock you can find and try to just slam his head onto a goddamn crater, whatever the hell happens up there on the moon. But this is very important. You understand? We have to come together on one accord under Commander General Yohana in the ISUPK, because it's the only place where you're going to find every man, woman, and child being on one accord, following what the Lord is telling us to do. You understand? And if not, then bring it, then show me. You understand? If you're in the chat, if you feel like what I'm saying is wrong, then prove to the school that there is another place that is following these laws, statutes, and commandments, that's doing the work of the Lord, that's following this Bible, that's living this Bible to a T. You understand? Show me another school. Show me another organization or religion or practice or fellowship or congregation, whatever the hell you want to call it. You understand? And prove it. But until then, ain't nobody that could claim the home of the truth except One West.
That's right.
You understand? So until then, we're going to rock it out here. And this is very important that the people get into these classes and learn, you understand, how to live again. Understand? Keep going.
Verse 2. Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the chaff, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you.
You better get with your brothers, man. You better get with your brother. Y'all sisters better get with your husbands, man. Y'all better build them black families back up. Y'all better get them kids in order. Get them houses in order. Get prepared for what's coming, because the Lord is not playing. You understand? He telling you what to do before his anger come upon America, man. Before it come upon the earth, all the wickedness that's in the earth. All the sin and the wickedry that you see that's going on the earth right now. You got to be a fool to think that the Lord ain't gonna pass judgment on this place. You understand? You got whole cities in this country that is named Sin City, and it's one of the most proudest cities in this goddamn earth. You understand? That's because America pushes for that, and the Lord is about fed up with it. The Lord is about to put his judgment on this earth. So you better get back with your husband. You better get that man that you kicked out your house because he came in late last night. You better pick his clothes up off the front lawn, fold and put them Jones back in the washing machine, fold them back up, hang them back up on the goddamn hanger, and tell your husband you sorry because you need a leader in this house.
That's right.
That's what you better do as a sister. As a brother, you better lace up them boots, Hawk. You better put on them cargo pants, put on that all black, lace up them boots, and find the Isupk near you. You understand? You better come be with with these brothers in this school. You better come be with these soldiers in this school, because these brothers in here are being prepared to deal with the end of the world, man. That's what they're being trained up and prepared to do in the beginning of the new one. And that's what's happening around here, man. That's the prophecy of the Most High. Those are the orders from Christ, that we to come back together, man, as a nation, as a people, under one accord, before the Lord get ready to do what he about to do. And if you're a Christian, then you already have some idea what the Lord is getting ready to do. You got a bastardized version of what it is. You think it's called the rapture, which is some old sexual word that I think Anita Baker used in her song. You understand? I don't even understand how y'all came up with that. But what the hell they think, like the Lord coming back to have an orgasm on earth? You understand? Good night. That's a different topic. But the Lord is coming back to set a blaze on America, man. He's coming back to judgment, man, to kill. You understand? If you think I'm lying, you better stop playing with the Lord's name like he ain't the biggest murderer that's ever lived. You understand? Like the Lord the Lord didn't destroy Sodom and Gomorrah for being homosexuals and practicing sodomy. Like the Lord didn't wipe out the whole goddamn earth with a flood.
That's right.
And saved only 8 people. You think that the Lord gonna care about your behind? You best get to thinking. You better think 10,000 times if you think the Lord care about you. He wiped out the whole goddamn city, the world, and only saved 8 people. You understand? If that's the God that you follow, then you best get up into these classes, man. You best come with your brothers and prepare how to and learn how to survive that, man. Just like times of old. Them brothers should have got with Noah. You understand? They seen what Noah was doing building that ark. They should have got with him and started helping him build that goddamn ark. But of course they didn't. And of course you won't. Of course you'd rather go and party. You'd rather go to the Christian church and molest children or to be molested. You'd rather go and not have a husband. You'd rather go and run your mouth. You understand? And kick your husband out the house. You'd rather be a whore. You understand? And in the day of the Lord, when destruction reign loose on this earth and terror is reigning loose on this earth, you going to remember these words and you going to realize that you should have listened to the priests and prophets of the Lord, and you should have put that man back in his house. You understand? Drop that. Give me 1 Corinthians 11 verse 3. We gonna go into we gonna go into exactly how the household should be run. You understand? So that there is no confusion in it at all. You understand? Go ahead, get what you got.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 3. Mm-hmm. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
That the head of every man is Christ. What does that mean? What does it mean that the head of every man is Christ? Giannis off.
That means that the Christ is the ruler of the earth.
The ruler of the earth?
He rules.
More specifically, what does this part mean?
That all men should obey Christ.
Right.
And follow him.
They should obey Christ because he's the what?
He's the king.
He's in charge. Right? So the head of every man is Christ. So what does that mean? What does that mean simply? You gonna Most High in Christ. What does it mean for Christ to be the head of every man? If you've ever had a slave, right, and you got a supervisor, is he your head? Is he the head of you at your slave?
Come.
He's your boss, right?
Come.
So what does that mean?
That Christ is the ruler over all men.
But specifically about the boss, right? You got the boss at your slave. What happens? What does he do?
He sets the rules.
What you got, Thupper?
Salakia, he said, like the brother said, he sets the rule, but he tells you what to do.
He tells you what to do.
Right.
And you follow it.
Damn right.
You understand? Because he's the head of every man. So if you as a man, let's say you feel like, you understand that today you should eat Zaxby's, right? Today you should eat Zaxby's, and you want Zaxby's. You want goddamn chicken wings from Zaxby's with fries. And Christ says, no, you need to go eat Bojangles today. What does that mean?
It means that your ass need to go to Bojangles.
It means you need to take your behind the
Right.
Bojangles and get whatever the hell he told you to get.
Damn right.
Right? Can you question it? Does your feelings matter? What if I ain't had Zaxby's in like 5 months, and I seen a commercial during the Miami Heat game yesterday, and it was like, yo, we got the new jerk Caribbean chicken wings at Zaxby's for 25 cents only. What if I seen that and I'm like, yo, I already don't got a lot of money. I can go get a whole meal for 25 cents. But you know, and Christ says, nah, don't get no Zaxby's. Go to Bojangles and pay $8 for the whole meal. Well, which one makes more sense? The $8 or the 25-cent meal? Which one makes more sense? Which one seems more logical?
You said which one seems more logical?
Which one is more logical?
Which one is more 25 cents for the jerk wings that you haven't had in forever?
A whole meal for 25 cents?
It's almost a no-brainer.
It's almost a no-brainer. It seems logical to not go to Bojangles and
Right.
pay $8
Damn right.
when you only got $10 in your account and get Zaxby's for 25. Get 4 meals for $1.
Right.
It seems more logical. I can feed my whole family
Right.
for $1, right? But what should you do? Even though it's more logical to get the Zaxby's, what should you do knowing that Christ is the head of you?
And you do what Christ says.
Do what he says to do. Don't run your mouth. Don't try to explain to him that it's 25 cents at Zaxby's. Don't try to explain to him that you ain't had Zaxby's in 5 months. You should do what he says to do. You know, what you got?
What you bringing out is heavy, Adawan. Because at the end of the day, it'd be real easy for you if you would stop something we learned. Stop thinking.
Right.
Don't think.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And it's something that's a concept that's hard for brothers and sisters to understand, especially when they're young in the truth. There's going to be a time when you have to think. There's going to be a time when you're in charge of something.
Right.
When you're over something and you got to, put a little thought into it and come up with because you got what we call a salakia. You have operational command or something like that, and you got to make a decision. But when you get told what to do, it's very easy.
Right.
Don't think.
Just do it.
Do it.
And that makes life like this Bible. When you grow up in a Christian church, this Bible seems very confusing. Right. That's why that's why a problem in the Christian church now is that millennials are leaving the church. And what I mean by millennials, I mean the younger generation of people who's coming up aren't coming up as heavy as the older generation did in the church. Right. You understand? They may go to the church, but they're not necessarily signing up to be members. They're not necessarily paying their tithes. You know, they go in there and do what they do, but they're not devoted to the church like their parents and grandparents are. And the reason for that is that millennials are seeing the hypocrisy that's in the church. You understand? I was looking at this video of this up and coming rapper named Tusi from out of Raleigh, which is right next door. He was giving a story about how three of his best friends shot and killed his granddad. You understand? They didn't know it was his granddad, but they shot and killed him in New York. And he was basically saying that his granddad worked in the church, but he had a drug addiction, and he was doing drugs. And so he went to go buy drugs. Just so happened to be from the rapper's three best friends. And he had money and things like that, so they tried to rob him. And he, I guess, you know, story, whatever, he ended up dead. You understand? But when the Christians coming up under that grandfather see him, and they see that he's supposed to be a man of the Lord. He's in the church every Sunday. He's serving, he's working the aisles and doing this, that, and the third. But then they also see him out there on the street buying dope. Well, they say, well, what the hell is the point of the church if I'm just going to end up like that? I could smoke crack without going to church. I could sell drugs without going to church. I can tote a pistol and be a gangbanger without going to church. I can just do it anyway. There's no point in me going to the church. And so they're starting to leave. And so life becomes very complicated. It becomes very complicated. You don't know what decisions to make because you don't know what the Lord requires. You don't know what decisions to make because you don't know what Christ. You don't know if Christ wants you to go to Zaxby's or if he wants you to go to Bojangles. Because the people who is teaching you what Christ is supposed to be teaching, what has taught us, are lying to you in the Christian church. So your life is complex. Your life is very complicated. When if you did like what Officer Thabawan just said, and just understood that this scripture said that the head of the man is Christ. So obey him. You understand? He tells you to go to Bojangles. You're simple behind arguing with Christ. Christ knows that Zaxby's is about to get blown the hell up. He knows it. He knows that the chicken that's in Zaxby's is going to poison you. He knows it. And he's telling you, don't go to Zaxby's. Go to Bojangles instead. You go to Bojangles, you fucking Salak, you mess around and get a whole free meal. They be like, oh, the card machines is broken. We can't take cash. Right. You got the whole meal for free. You understand? Or you pay $8. But the point is, you don't have that decision when serving the Lord. When you come to be a righteous brother or a righteous sister, you don't have to make the decision. You don't have to decide whether you're righteous or you're not. The Lord is already deciding it for you. All you have to do is fit in the template. All you have to do is fit in the categories of what the Lord is telling us to do, and you'll know from that if you're righteous or not. You understand? You go to Zaxby's, you disobey the Most High, well then you ain't righteous. You understand? And you can't claim to have one drop of love for the Most High by disobeying a direct order from Christ. You understand? And some of them orders in the orders of Christ is the law, statutes, and commandments. That's right. You understand? That's what every man should submit himself under. That's what every man should teach his wives to submit themselves under, his children to submit themselves under, his co-workers to submit themselves under, his family members, mothers, fathers, grandfathers. That's what we're supposed to be. That's what's supposed to be being taught in the streets. You understand? That's what's supposed to be being taught in the schools. Not how we can, build our own desirables and how we can, give to ourselves what we want. We're supposed to be here to serve the Most High. Right. And to serve the Most High means that we got to serve Christ because we under Christ. We don't go to the Most High. You understand? This is like the goddamn Godfather. You don't just go to the Godfather. You go to his henchman first. And right now, the man under the Most High is Christ, and that's who we report to. Even at your job, you work for a Fortune 500 company, you don't just go to the CEO when you got a problem. Right. You don't just go to him. Even in the military, you don't just go to the general sergeant. I don't know all the rank and all that, but whoever the head dude in charge, you don't just walk up to him and start talking about you having a problem in your platoon. You don't just go to him. You go to the man above you, your supervisor. You understand? Your sergeant or whatever the hell they call it. And that's how this works too with the Most High. You go to Christ because he's the head of you, and you under him and you obey him. You understand? And he gives you orders. You don't go to Christ and give him orders at all. You understand? Keep reading.
And the head of the woman is the man.
And the head of the woman is the man. You understand? You've heard this 1,000 times and still don't get it. You've heard this 10,000 times and still don't get it.
That's right.
It's something you still don't understand. What the hell does that mean? The same way that we serve Christ is the same way that you obey your husband. You understand? Your husband tells you to go to Bojangles instead of Zaxby's. What should you do? You should go to Bojangles instead of Zaxby's. Your husband tells you to use your credit to do this. What should you do? Use your credit to do whatever the hell he told you to do. Your husband tells you to send him this so that he can get this. What should you do? You should send him that so he can get whatever the hell it is that he needs to get. You should obey your husband. Why? Because you chose to sleep with him. You understand? For a woman that doesn't obey her husband, she is making herself out to be worse than a dollar hoe. You're telling everybody in the earth that you will bend your back over and let this man have sex with you, but you won't obey him. You understand? You're making yourself to be very worthless. Very much worthless. You understand? What I mean? You may get upset. Worthless? Because I don't listen to a man? Well, give me the value of the man who disobeys Christ. What is the value of the brother who disobeys what the Lord says? Worthless. So you disobey your husband, what value are you? Worthless. You're no good. Imagine a car that you bought, that you put your money into, and you go to crank it up and the shit don't move. It don't drive. It drives when it wants to. You got to get to work at 9 o'clock. The best bet you guys just go, you got to sleep in the car because it ain't no telling when it's going to start driving. That's worthless. You understand? You don't want to be in ownership of a car like that. You don't want to be a ruler over a messed up car that drives when it wants. So what man is going to want to rule over you when you're out of control? You understand? You're not controllable. You're disobedient. You understand? You don't follow what the Lord says, even if you claim to do. And you cannot love the Lord if you are not following your husband and obeying what he says. And that's not my words. That's what we're reading right here. You understand? Read it again. Read it from the top.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man. And the head of Christ is the Most High.
Now, even Christ got somebody he got a report to. You understand? And through this order, who do we all follow? Through this order, Yanazar.
Commander General Yohana.
We do follow Commander General Yohana. But even Commander General Yohana, all of us on earth, through this order, who do we all end all be all? Who do we end up following?
Christ himself. The Most High.
We follow the Most High. Because if you follow Christ, then you're following the Most High. If you're following your husband, then you're following Christ, and you're following the Most High. You follow Commander General Yohana, then you're following Christ, which is following the Most High. It all leads back, and that's why the order is set like that. You understand? That's what the Lord has set in stone for us. That's how our families are supposed to be regulated. That's how we're supposed to live on this earth. You ain't supposed to have a woman that's running a household. You ain't supposed to have a man that's teaching the kids and the wife to do something that goes against what Christ does or goes against what Christ taught. You understand? If you're a woman and you living in a house and your man is teaching you to eat pork, or he's teaching you to get tattoos, or teaching you to smoke weed, well, then you shouldn't be under his authority, and you should not listen to that. You understand? You should disobey those orders, because that is in direct, you understand, violation of the water as to what the Christ taught. You understand? You shouldn't follow that. You understand? And you should pray that your husband come into these classes so he could teach you the right way to be. You understand? What you got? Yanazar or Dabawan, could you cut the air off? Salakia. But you could say what you got first.
Like I was gonna say what you're saying is heavy, man, because at the end of the day, it's like, you know, a sister might complain about, you know what I'm saying, the type of man that a brother might be or whatever. Even in the world, a sister's always got to say, men this, you know what I mean, my baby daddy this, da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, was he not that when you laid down and your legs was 18 feet apart?
Right.
Like, it was all good then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But now you got a problem with it. So like you're saying, it's like, what does that make you? If he's not good enough to obey, if you don't feel like you can be followed, it's like you can be led by this man, then what the hell are you doing in the bed with him? You know what I'm saying? Bucket naked, doing whatever you do.
Right.
You look crazy.
Right. That you look like a dollar hoe.
Con,
You understand?
damn right.
With a hoe that you pay $1 to have sex with, if she gonna get up and do what you say, she ain't doing nothing that you tell her to do. She gonna have sex with you, get her $1, and then leave. And that's it, unless you got another $1 somewhere in your pocket that you willing to give her. You understand? So you a woman that's sitting there laying down with this man, and you laying, like, you think about it. Oh, imagine this. You laying down with a worthless piece of shit. That's what you're doing, huh? You understand? Your husband is terrible. He ain't nothing. Baby daddies ain't this. He doesn't pay the bills. He doesn't love you. He's just everything bad. But yet somehow that turns you on, huh? That's what you're attracted to. You're attracted to him not having money, him not ever seeing the kids, him beating on you, him being abusive, him being just wrong and everything, just being a complete idiot. That's why you do what you do at night. That's bro. Maybe we're wrong, Tabawan. Maybe we should probably work on being terrible. We're gonna have 1,000 wives, because clearly that's probably the way to go. You understand? But that you should take that and understand that the man that you are laying with, that's your husband, man. That's your Adawan. That's the man that you need to give your loyalty to. That's the man that you need to give your allegiance to. They in the what you looking for? Yeah, I put it in they were all frozen. I put them in the refrigerator to thaw out, but I put some warm ones in the freezer. But just, you understand, that's who you should give your allegiance to. You understand? Because if not, then you, like I said, you just making yourself out to be less than $1 hoe. Because I guarantee you that man you sleeping with is not giving you $1 after he's done. He ain't doing none of that. He going. I'm good to the water. He's going out whatever to do whatever he's doing. He's going to the club after he's done with you. You understand? So have a little bit more respect for yourself. You understand? You got a man, you got a husband, you laying down with him. You understand? Respect yourself by respecting your husband. Respect yourself by not running your mouth to your husband. That's right. Respect that. You understand? Just respect it the same way a literal whore respects the $1 million boyfriend that she got. You understand? The way that he could treat her, but she shuts her damn mouth because she wants to be what? That's what we not understanding. You dating Chris Brown. You dating some millionaire, some billionaire actress or actor and Hall of Fame basketball player, whatever. You dating somebody rich. The whores out here in the street, they'll shut their mouth. Right. They not saying nothing about him going out and having sex with whoever. They don't care about him coming back 6 o'clock in the morning to their mansion. They don't give a damn. They are living in Malibu in the biggest house on the block. Right. He come home drunk as hell. He come home with another girl on his shoulder, and she's just like, your breakfast is in the refrigerator. Why? Why is she doing that? What is her end all goal? What is her point? What you got, Giannis?
She just want to be taken care of. That's it.
She wants to be taken care of, but to be taken care of, she got to be what?
Rich.
She wants to be rich, but to be rich in this scenario, she's got to be what?
A whore.
She is a whore, but she's got to be something else. Uh-huh.
She got to be basically whatever the hell he want her to be.
Which means what? Think about what I've been saying this whole time. You're not following Christ, you're what? That means she's shutting her mouth to be what?
She's shutting her mouth so she could be of value to him.
She could be worth something. Right. She's worth something. Because in his eyes, he's coming back with A whole white girl on his shoulder, drunk as hell. He just had sex with her 6 times. He's coming home and there's breakfast in the refrigerator and his woman ain't running her mouth. Even though in that case, you should, as a black woman, your husband come back home with a Becky, you should say something in that case, right? But you understand, she's being quiet so that she can be of value, so that she could be worth something to that man. Because if she starts to run her mouth, if she starts to bash him and call him a baby daddy and say that he's a liar and this, that, and the third, even though he may be all of those things, you know what he's going to start to think. You just don't fit what I'm trying to do here. You're not worth anything to me, and so you're disposable, and he'll get rid of you and find somebody else. The problem is that in this truth, you need to look at that husband as if he's that $1 million man.
That's right.
You need to look at your husband, even though he does not always tell you the truth, even though he does not always be honest about everything with you, even though he does make you feel like that you whatever the hell emotions that you have, whatever it is that he does to you, you need to treat him like he's that $1 million man, because he should be that $1 million man to you. At the end of the day, you understand that the same love that you would have for a son, even and not the same love as in pertains to like the relationship status, but the same unconditional that you would have for a son, that a son may mess up, a son may lie to you, a son may stay out too long, or a daughter may go to the party and smoke weed or do something that's nonsense. Well, you still look at that person like they're precious, man. You still look at them like, yo, that's my son. Right. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing about my son. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing about my son, and I'm gonna die by my son, even though he's out there selling drugs, even though he's out there buck wilding, even though she's out there doing this. I love that. I love my daughter. I love my son. Well, that same respect you should give to your husband. You understand? Regardless regardless of what he's doing, whether he's perfect or whether he dead wrong, you should respect him like a man should respect Christ, and you should follow what he says to do. Listen to what he says to do. Uplift that man. Keep him up. When he's down, you should lift him up, not break him down. Because that's the obligation and the job that you have as a woman, man. Especially being in the truth. What you got?
And if I may, Adawan, it's heavy because 9 times out of 10, whatever, it's like, like the phrase, like, you know what I'm saying? You get out what you put in.
Mm-hmm.
If she give that man that respect,
oh yeah.
If she treat him like he that leader that he, but he may not be there yet.
Like he that nigga.
Right, like he that nigga. You treat that, he could be the brother who make mistakes and he ain't perfect. But if he can tell that she sees in him that thing he don't see in himself already, he'll become that.
Exactly.
Because of her.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like he'll say, wait a minute. Everyone else, like it's like the general always said, and it's like it was like a heavy point. I remember from years later, it's like, how can you berate a man and grind him down to nothing about not having a job, then expect him to have the confidence to go fill out a job application?
Right.
He's gonna be like, the woman that lay next to me thinks I'm a piece of garbage, right. So this white man is gonna think the same thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if you give him that, nah, you better than that. Like if you give him that respect, he'll be like, yo, he can go out into the world and be better than he ever thought he could be.
And everything that we do, and like is like what he was saying, like how can you berate and break down a man that's already broken? Right. Everybody is against him. Everything he's up is against him. Everything. Going to work is against him. You understand? Going to school is against him. Everything. I got to write papers now, and I got one of them, like one of them white teachers that is like so intrigued by nigga shit. You understand? Like everything got to be about black people. Everything. Right. Write a paper about how your social group impacts you and how bitch, you know my social group is being a nigga. That's what you just say that. You want to hear about what it means to be a nigga? I'm lucky to be alive. End of story. You understand? Because everything is against us. Everything. You understand? So your man come home, you shouldn't be against him too. You understand? Like even if your man is sad, even if your man is broken down, even if your man is doing wrong, give me another example of something that could be like that. Like a dog. You understand? You see them dogs that's broken legs, starving, dirty, You understand? What do? If you got love for that dog, you ain't gonna tell him that he's broken and ugly and dumb and can't bark and not good for nothing. You know, good dog. You don't even know how to bark. What you gotta do? You gotta raise that dog up. You gotta work with him. You gonna have to deal with that dog when he shits on your carpet. You're gonna have to deal with that dog when he's trying to eat but regurgitates everything you give him. You're gonna have to deal with that dog when he pisses everywhere, when he tears up your couches, when he does everything that you think he shouldn't do. You're gonna have to deal with that dog if you love him. And eventually he'll be the dog that you need him to be. And he'll protect you, man. He'll protect you in that day. It won't be when you get the dog when you need him. You ain't gonna need the dog for years. But it'll be that day after you've built that dog up when them intruders come into your house and he risked his life to save you. And then you'll understand why the Lord made us to be creatures like that. Why the Lord made us to build each other up, not to tear each other down. Because that is how we build a nation again. That is how we keep our brothers from selling drugs. That is how we raise our children to be strong men and strong women. That is how we keep the man in the household. That's the only way. You understand? But you all day just so focused on berating. All day so focused on arguing and tearing down and telling him about what he didn't do. Why don't you tell him about what he did do? Why don't you be thankful about what he did give you? Why don't you be thankful about the house that you do got, the car that you do drive, the life that you do live? You understand? Instead of taking these days for granted. You understand? We should learn more about how to love each other. You understand? And how to keep our families together rather than tearing it down. You understand? And then as a woman, you gotta understand one thing. You are a very emotional creature, right? So we've got to learn to break down what our emotions are versus what is logical. You understand? And as a sister, that is a very big problem because the black woman has become a monster in America. You understand? Not all black women, but most, very much most, have become monsters in the black community in America and has been berating and destroying the black households from the inside out, man, since we've gotten here off them ships, man. You understand? Since we started learning that Christianity from our oppressor, our women have been turned into goddamn Megatrons against us, man. Sending out all kinds of evils against us, being false accusers of us, man. And that is what we have to break. We have to break that. Right. You understand? Because a man can't go out to war, you understand, thinking on his mind where he gonna come home, if he gonna come home to a meal or not. Right. A man can't go out to war, you understand, going like, have you ever been at the job or the slave arguing with your rib and she threatening, like I'm leaving, I'm taking my stuff and I'm leaving. Have you ever been on a slave like that? Like that's the hardest day at work ever. You understand? Because you want to punch every goddamn body. Somebody come up and says, yeah, can I get a number 2? And you like, fuck you say? And you just on edge, man. You understand? And the problem is that, like, as a woman, you got to be wiser than that, man. You got to learn to be smarter than to do certain things like that. Because you will be a black woman is the reason, a big reason why so many of our brothers died in the streets today. Why so much of the problems that happen in America in the ghettos are stemmed from our sisters not being righteous or not even having some kind of sense of just, I don't even know, like some sense of worthiness, man. You see how many stories is it a brother going to kill another brother because he was sleeping with his girl, a brother going to go fight and do all kinds of things because he's mad because his girl just broke up with him, or a girl just left him or did something and is now with some other dude and some whatever, all that nonsense. You see that all the time in the black community, man. And that's because our sisters have become monsters. They've not learned what it is to be loyal to their husband. They've not learned what it meant to have their allegiance to their husband. They've not learned what it meant to obey Christ, which is to obey their husband. You understand? And that's the problem. You understand? All women have become monsters, man, and they're being toyed. Give me Genesis chapter 3. They being toyed by the so-called white man. They being played with and used as devices against us, and they don't even know it. they don't even see it. You understand? They go a month without seeing white people in. They have no idea that still the thoughts that you have in your mind are stemmed from Christianity. Still the thoughts that you have every day that's playing over and over, the way that you are, the TV that you watch, what you see on TV, how you hear women act. Oh, them goddamn posts, man, on goddamn Twitter. That is the worst. Now, I don't even know when that crap started happening, man, but I wish I could go back and pinpoint, like, who the hell made this first post? Because it, like that, those whole, if a man ain't treating you right, then he don't love you, he loves somebody else. Posts like that, like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, that's your man. Like, what are you gonna make a post for billions of other people to see so they can read that and say, damn. Well, my man didn't buy me a Lamborghini, and he didn't buy the right color rose petals, and he forgot to bring me the cake that I asked for. That means he ain't treating me right. He must be loving somebody else. You understand that kind of nonsense like that is so dumb, and women, our sisters fall for it all the goddamn time. You understand what you got, Tabawa?
So like, I don't know what you're saying is so goddamn heavy, and that's one of the reasons why I hate that goddamn internet. The internet is the most disgusting place. Like, we use it as best we can, you know what I'm saying, to spread the truth, whatever. But that internet, it's like me being, somewhat old school. I remember a time when there was no internet. And that internet is just a breeding ground for people's stupid, scatterbrained thoughts to make their way into the public realm. And then everyone else who has a stupid, scatterbrained, tiny peanut head believes they're like validated. Right. Like, whatever stupid thought they had in their head, they see someone else thinks the same thing. What I'm saying must be right. It must make sense. Yeah. And then they just go with that crap. And it's like, is it the chicken or the egg? Did you have the stupid thought first, or did you get it from the internet? Or did the internet get it from you? I don't know. But now you got a bunch of dummies running around thinking what they saying is so deep. They're so woke, and you ain't saying a goddamn thing. Salakia.
They get on the internet, smoke a blunt, and they start, so is it beef for vegetarians too? Like, if they got a problem with each other, is it still beef? Wow. Why they say that your nose be runny but your feet be smelling? Like, shit like that. Niggas, wow. That's so deep. The government is against us. The government. You understand? The Illuminati, nigga. Whatever the hell you talking about. Man, but it's all nonsense, man. There's only one internet you need to be reading, man. That's that Bible. That's right. That's the one internet you need to get your advice from. You understand? That's the only thing you should be getting your advice from. Nothing else. Right. You understand? I hear all kinds of stuff. I hear stories too. I read stuff too. Some stuff be sounding like it makes sense. I'm like, yeah, that sounds right. Bitches ain't the S word. You understand? So like, I'm trying to control it. These women ain't that. I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. But let me go to these Bible, man. Let's see if the Lord justifies what that says, man. You understand? Give me Genesis chapter 1.
3 and 1.
3 and 1. Oh, Salakia, Genesis chapter 3 and verse 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 1. Mm-hmm. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field.
Which and we understand that this serpent isn't an actual serpent. It's not a snake. This Bible was written by black people. They talk like black people. You understand? We use what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word slipping my mind, but we use words like this to describe other things. Like, you understand, if you go to the hood, they say what? Oh, that nigga right there is a rat. You understand? Does that mean he's a literal rat running on all 4 feet? Nah. You understand? Or they'll say that cat is a rat. Does that mean he's a cat and a rat at the same time? Nah. Well, that brother is a snake right there. Don't mess with him. He a snake. Or he a dog. Or, you understand, that cat right there, that's for the birds. Is it really for the birds? This drama that you got going on in this house, is this really for the birds in the air? No, that's not what it's talking about. But these scriptures is written by black people, and thousands of years ago, they talked just like us back then. You understand? They seen the characteristics of a snake, and they place it on a type of person or what that person could be. You understand? You see a beast. They call Marshawn Lynch the what? Well, they call him a beast, right? Beast mode. Does that mean he's a beast, an animal, a bear, a lion? No, that don't mean that. It just means that he shares the characteristics of a beast, man, to take over, to devour. You understand? That's the characteristics he got. So this is talking about a man, and it's saying that his characteristics were that of a serpent, that of a snake, just like you hear about today. And he was more subtle than any beast of the field. You understand? Meaning that he was more conniving. He was more mischievous, like more scheme. He was more about schemes, and he was smarter in what he did. You understand? Like a lion is not subtle. A lion is the king of the jungle. He sees you, you see him, he wants to eat you, he's going to try to eat you. He's not going to try to jump out of a tree and hide and do all this. He's going to chase you down and fight you until he kills you. But a snake is more so gotta be in the ground, gotta be in the grass, gotta hide. You understand? Find the right point and then get you. And that's the characteristics of this man who, you understand, that Genesis 1 is talking about. This the same serpent that was in the garden. You understand? This is who this is talking about.
God.
So like we in the garden right now, but go ahead, what you got?
Like if I made just a quick example would be, I don't know if anybody ever seen the old movie The Jungle Book. The character Ka,
right?
He was literally hypnotizing him. Like he was like, he didn't just attack.
Right.
He would hypnotize you and say smooth things,
Right.
and
Do
you
like
get
a little
caught.
Indian thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And get you caught up, and next thing you know, you asleep.
Right.
And he got you in his coils, getting ready to eat you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the snake had the character, like you said, the characteristics of conniving and kind of sneaking his way in there, as opposed to just directly attacking you.
Right. And if you see anything about snakes, you know snakes can't even just kill a dog like that. Like if you ever seen a dog and a dog would just pick it up, throw it. Right. Pick it up, throw it. Pick it up, throw it. Snake can't really do nothing. That's why a snake can't fight like that. He ain't gonna get you by just coming directly at you. Like he ain't got no weight on him. He's a snake. He can't do much like that when it comes to a dog or a lion or a bear or something like that. So he gotta be, you understand, schemish in his ways. Just like the brother was saying, he got to hypnotize you. That's why they do that. Yeah, that whole moving back and forth. I think is that Indian or is that Middle Eastern culture with the whole little? That's Indian. Yeah, and they East Indian. They snake charmer. Yeah, that's what it is, man. But that's what he was referring to when he was talking about the Jungle Book. But this man was more of a schemer, man. He had to lie to get what he got. You understand? He was more subtle than any beast of the field. You understand? Keep going.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord thy power had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
So he said, Yea, has the Lord told you not to eat of every tree of the garden? You understand? Keep going.
Verse 2, and the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. Verse 3, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden.
So Eve is saying, yeah, we can eat the fruit that's in the garden, but this one tree, again, this is all a metaphor. This is not talking about no goddamn fruit for all you Christians. If you want it broken down, just say that. But this ain't got nothing to do with no snake, literal snake talking to a woman. This also ain't got nothing to do with no damn fruit, which is also why you need to go back to your pastor and ask him where the hell apple came in this. Because if you continue hearing this, there is no apple. It don't say nothing about an apple in this Bible at all. There's no apple. It just says fruit. So whoever decided, well, maybe it was a goddamn apple, just lied to you. You understand? Keep going.
But the fruit of the tree which in the midst of the garden, God had said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
So the Lord is saying that this fruit you can't eat, nor should you touch it. This is a direct order that should be obeyed by the Most High. You understand? Now, mind you, this is the serpent came to the woman, and he came to the woman for a reason. You understand? This serpent was more subtle than any beast of the earth. And in his subtlety, he was smart enough to know that you can't go to the man with this. You can't go to him. You have to go to the woman, right? Keep going.
Verse 4. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die.
He said what?
Ye shall not surely die.
Back then, this was the internet post. This was that internet post. You don't need a man. You can be an independent woman. Women should have equal rights. Women are equal to men. We can do it better than men can do it. All of those posts that you hear, all of those quotes and all of those sayings that you hear, this was that. You understand? That if you eat of this fruit, surely ye shall not die. Keep going.
Verse 5. For the Most High doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened.
If you leave your man and just be an independent woman, then you ain't gotta be hurt by no man. You ain't gotta deal with no nonsense. Girl, I left my man and look at my skin. You understand? Like I hate when women do that, man. That's the most hilarious thing to me. When a woman does something that's wicked as hell, they think that just because they put some lotion on, that their skin is glowing because they left their man. What kind of retarded mess is that? Yeah, I left my man, girl, and look at my skin glowing. What? You understand? Not your back. Your back ashy as hell because you ain't got no man to rub your back for you. The bottom of your feet looking crusty and terrible. You understand? And that's all coming from that nonsense that America will try to push a woman so that she could believe it into doing something that she ain't got no business doing. You understand? Like even for a woman to say, I left my husband, you understand? I left my man and look at my skin, I'm glowing. Man, that's a damn lie. Right. What you living in? What you live in a goddamn bubble? Because if you living in a house, I know that you've had some problems with some electrical issues. Right. I know you had some problems with some rodents. I know you got some problems up in that house. You got a car. I know you had some problems with your car breaking down. Man, your back is probably worn the hell out from all the work that you done had to do by yourself. You lying, man. You understand? Just like who said that? What was that woman's name? Was it Oprah? It wasn't Oprah. Was it Oprah? Or was it that ugly Salaki? Not the ugly one. Wendy Williams. It was some sister, old as hell. I think she hate men. I think she taught women to not have husbands and stuff. And she got on live during this COVID-19 thing, and she was saying she was looking at a mirror. And the generals brought it out. They was breaking it down on the Commander General Yohana brought it out on the grill. And she was basically saying like how she was looking and she's like, she was in the house because of the quarantine, because of the COVID. And she was like, it's empty. Ain't no kids in here. And it's like, she old now. It's too late. Like she can't have kids. And it made her sad because of the COVID was here, she couldn't go out and live life and do stuff like she usually did. So now she realized like her house is cold. It's cold in here. You understand? There's no family in here. What you got, Yanazar?
I think that was Gayle King.
Gayle King. Yeah. That's her name. What was she? What's she do?
Oprah's friend.
Oprah's friend.
She got a job on one of them networks.
I think she did something like. She did something that like made her known.
Oh. Yeah, Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg. No, or was it Kobe?
What she did was famous. But first of all, she did the interview with R. Kelly, but she also had the thing where she said she had brought up Kobe's rape charge or whatever in an interview.
That's what it was.
And then Snoop called her a dog head.
That's
how she got more known.
Yeah, that's what it was. She went and started bringing up something from Kobe's past after he done already died a tragic, horrific death. You understand? And Snoop Dogg went and called her, you understand? Y'all know what he said. He said some unpleasant words about her, which was probably true. But she got on live and was like, yo, she ain't got no family. She ain't got this, she ain't got that. And it's like, yo, you know why? Because you listen to the internet. You You listen to How to Think Like a Man and all of those nonsense books, and you listening to Oprah and listening to all of these women who gonna die old and alone, man. And deep down, that's not really what you want. When you should have been listening to the Most High instead of listening to this serpent, listening to them things that's out here in this world that is going to put you in a place where you do not have a man. You understand? Where you don't have protection, where you don't have a head of your house that you're supposed to listen to. And that's a sad day for a woman to come to the realization that she don't have offspring. That's a sad thing, man. To realize that now I'm old and in my elderly years, I can't go party like how I used to. I can't go to the club. I can't go work like how I used to go to work. I can't go drink and dance and do things like how I used to dance. Now all I could do is sit in this house, and I ain't got nobody sitting in this house with me. I ain't got no man. I've been an evil bitch to every nigga I've ever met. So every man has ran away from me. I don't got no kids because I ran every man off. I'm alone. Yeah, but you got your career. You understand? I'm glad he said that. Cause you got your career, and you're stable. You've gotten your cars, the cars that you was working hard for. You got that, but you lost that husband in the process, and now you ain't got nobody to help you work on that vehicle. You understand? Your whole life is now going to be about allowing strangers into your house for every problem that you got. Can you imagine? Can you imagine every problem or issue that you have? You have to have a stranger come and fix it. You got a problem with the pool that you got because of your nice career? You got to have a pool boy every time something goes wrong. Come out there and look at it. You having a problem with your plumbing, with the sink, the faucet won't turn on? You got to have a plumber come out every time because you ain't got no clue how to look at a sink or do anything like that. Your car won't start. You have to call a mechanic to come out there and tow your truck because you have nobody there to help you with nothing. But you got your career. You got your car and you got your house. You did well for yourself. You understand? But you did terrible for your nation. You've done terrible for your people because you were selfish. You thought about your car before you thought about your offspring that you should have had. Them babies and them soldiers that you should have gave birth to. That husband that should have rolled with, man. That you should have fed. That you should have housed. That you should have put clothes on his back. That you should have built up until he got a job like you would do for a lonely puppy. That's what you should have done. But instead you wanted to get your car. You wanted to get your job and you wanted to live life and be fluctuated and live whatever kind of nonsense word that they like to use for their life that they live. What's that word? Be bougie. I mean, that's what you'd rather do. You understand? And that's nonsense according to the Lord. But listening to the internet is exactly what Eve was doing, man. And the internet is always put, like, if you think about it, all of those posts that you see on the internet is always directed to what women should do and what women should not do and what they should not stand for and what type of man they should get. And if the man that they got ain't doing it, then they should get it. It's always something like that. It ain't never, unless you got some old homosexual nigga who is just a predator to women up there just saying some nonsense like we need to treat black women like queens and paint their toenails for them. More brothers. I remember seeing something earlier today. It was like more brothers should learn how to do hair and paint toenails so that we can pamper our women on the daily. I'm like, brother, I mean, they need to kind of stop being a hoe first. You understand? We gotta start there. The hell with them goddamn toenails. You gonna paint her toenails, she gonna walk right out of your life. With them new painted toenails, she gonna curse you out. You understand? Because you ain't used the right acrylic, or you understand? You try to do it if you want to. You seeing how black women get mad at them Asians for messing up their toenails? You shitting me. I'm avoiding every battle I can. You need your toenails done. You need to go yell at them niggas. Don't come over here with that. I ain't messing up nothing on your feet. You understand? But where was we at on this? Mm-hmm.
Let me read it.
Come on, go ahead.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 5. For God, the Most High, doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
All right, so I could break this down. This is just talking about Eve knowing what it was to disobey the Lord. You understand? Like before Eve disobeyed the Lord, she had no idea what it was. She didn't know what it meant to sin. She didn't know what it meant to eat pork. She didn't know. So now after listening to those posts, after listening to Christianity, after listening to our oppressor, who is the devil, the serpent in the garden that the Bible speaks of, after listening to all of these things that is not which of the Most High, then now she knew what it was to leave her husband. Then now she knew what it was to call him a nigga, a no good dirty nigga, and to throw his clothes on the yard. Right. Now she knew what it was to go and sleep with another man. Right. Now she knew what it was. You understand? To go and sin against the Lord. You understand? And that is why that serpent went to her first. You understand? Because she was gullible, just like your woman today. You understand? You heard the term naive, which means nigh unto Eve or like Eve. It's because women today that are naive are like their ancestor Eve. They're like her. You understand? That's why credit cards get sent to them. You understand? The Satan wanting to pin like our oppressor. He couldn't do what he does with women to us. He couldn't do us to our women like that. Like we wouldn't stand for it. Like a man wouldn't be able to even fathom. Yeah, I'm gonna put this hoe on child support. It's not even like a real thing. I don't ever think I've ever met a woman who was on child support. I personally have never met it, and if you know somebody, it's definitely damn sure not common. It's not the common thing. You understand? But because the white man knows that our women are very naive, and they believe whatever this certain serpent is going to tell them, they go to them with this because they're weak in that area. You understand? Which is why what? I say, I know I'm rambling, and I got your hand, but they are naive. They're weak in that area. When it comes to the white man's oppression, they follow what he says, even though the Lord said otherwise, which is why what in regards to a woman? It's a very hard concept to understand. No sweat. Our women are naive. They're gullible. They are the ones who will look at the Facebook post and get an arousal off of leaving their husband because they're naive. They're gullible. They're emotional. They're easily broken into not serving the Lord. Easily. Which means what? Which is the reason for what, Salakia? Yanazar.
If I may, it's the reason why the man rules over her.
Which is give him a hand. Good night. Yes. It's the reason why you don't have to think. As a woman that has a husband, you don't have to think about what the serpent in the garden is telling you. You don't. You ever heard the term go in one ear and out the other? Well, when the serpent is telling you to do something, it should go in one ear and out the other. And you should go to your husband for what you should do. You understand? If she would have never listened to the serpent, if Eve would have just went back to Adam and said, yeah, there was some white man down there that was telling me about eating the shrimp in the sea and eating that pig. Adam would have been like, nah, the Lord said we can't do that. And if she would have said, okay, good night. Who knows what the world would be like today? If she'd have just shut her mouth and didn't try to explain nothing, that just said, Khan and Wakan. We can't eat the pork. Khan and Wakan. Good night. You imagine? Think about all the problems women go through because they didn't just say Khan and Wakan. Right. And then today they still won't just shut up and say Khan and Wakan. Think of all the problems you would save. Just save yourself. Right. All the stress, all the arguments you save yourself by this saying con. You ain't gotta say too much. Just do what your husband told you to do. You understand? As long as it's righteous, as long as it's not a sin against the Lord, just do what your husband told you to do, man. Otherwise, you shouldn't be sleeping with him. Right. Otherwise, you shouldn't be having babies by him. You understand how you hate your kids that much? You hate your kids that much that you're going to have a baby by this no good, down low, dirty bastard, deadbeat nigga who was a deadbeat before you even had a kid, but you called him a deadbeat for whatever goddamn reason, who don't got a job, don't have money, who don't know how to do nothing, can't change oil, can't change lighter fluid, can't bake can't do nothing. And that's who you chose? Sis, you deserve that. Good night. But 9 times out of 10, that is not the case. You understand? Get me Salakia. I think it's 2 Timothy 3:3. I believe so. Salakia, that's not it. That's not the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for the one that says that they shall be false accusers. Give me Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 28. Somebody got a question about Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 28. Let's go there. Let's break down Ephesians 5 and verse 28. All right, let's go.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 28.
Read from verse 27.
Verse 27.
Mm-hmm.
That he might present it to himself a glorious church,
Mm-hmm.
not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 28. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies.
So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. What does that mean? Someone break that down. Women love to go to this. You understand? Women love this one right here. What does that mean? So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies.
It's like to love your woman as you love yourself.
You will love your woman like you love yourself. You understand? Does that mean, let's see. How can a man love himself? Let's see. Does a man love himself, right, the same way that a woman would adorn herself? La. Is a man and a woman equal? But it says that, a man should love his wife as he loves himself. So does that make them equal? La. Okay, no sweat. So what is it saying? That a man, read it from the top again, from verse 28.
Verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
So ought men to love their wives as their own body.
So what does that mean? To love their wives as their own bodies. And I think you just said it. Go ahead.
To take care of her as you would take care of yourself.
Take care of her as you would take care of yourself, right? Keep going.
He that loveth his wife loveth himself.
He that loveth his wife loveth himself, right? Keep going. Verse 29.
Verse 29. For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourished and cherisheth it, even as the Lord the church.
He cherishes it even as the Lord the church. What does that mean?
the Lord, in this instance, talking about Christ. Christ loved the church so much that he died for it. He died for his people.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it says, even as the Lord loved the church, it's basically talking about, again, your willingness to protect and nourish your wife, which is what we do.
Which is what you should do.
Damn right.
You should protect and nourish your wife. Protect her.
Right.
You understand? Like you would protect your own body.
Right.
You understand? That's exactly what you should do. Because you love your wife as you love yourself.
Right.
Now, because a woman would usually pull this to justify her dumbass actions, right? This is where it gets cold. A woman would usually pull this scripture to justify her being a bitch.
Right.
And she will say, well, even though I'm a bitch, you should love me because it says to love yourself as your own body, right? But she's a bitch. She's a whore and a slut and a bitch. But the Bible is saying to love it like you would love your own body. Let me ask you a question, brother. If you had cancer, what do you have to do?
You have to seek treatment.
And in seeking treatment, you have to do what? What do they do with the cancer?
They treat the cancer with radiation for the most part, or they.
If you have to have surgery, they do what? They cut it out.
Cut it out. Cut out the cancer.
They cut it off.
If they can.
Let's say if you had poison in your arm and the poison was going to spread. What do you have to do? Mm-hmm.
You have to cut off the arm.
You have to take that arm off. But does that mean that you don't love your body? It absolutely means that you love your body. It means you love your body so much that you will cut it off to protect your body. You will correct what's wrong to protect your body. So even though the Bible says to love your wife as you love yourself, brother, you might have to endure through some pain. And you may have to correct the hell out of her for being a bitch to protect herself. That's what that scripture means. What you got?
Otherwise, what you bringing out is again, just heavy to the utmost degree, because people using these scriptures, they think they used to come up against the Christian church. This ain't the Christian church.
Good night.
We ain't playing into no goddamn emotions, man. We gonna keep it straight, raw from the Bible. And the fact of the matter is that if you love your body, right? The scripture said love your wife as you love yourself, because no man never hated his own body. Right. Well, if a man don't hate his own body, you know what he's not gonna do? He's not gonna feed his body a bunch of garbage because it sounds nice.
Right.
Because it feels nice. I'm not gonna eat ice cream for breakfast, lunch, and dinner because it, to me, that's very appeasing and appealing.
Right.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hit that gym.
That's
I'm
right.
gonna work out. It's gonna hurt, but I'm gonna do it because I take care of myself.
Right.
So like you saying, when it comes to your rib, when it comes to your wife, you're gonna love her like you love yourself.
Exactly.
I'm not just gonna cater to whatever you would feel good to you. I'm gonna make sure that everything's right because I want you to live.
Right.
And that might have to take a little bit of, disciplining and things like that in the long run. Salakia.
Get damn right. You understand? Meaning your body's starting to ache. You're going to have to take some medication to fix that ache. You understand? Yeah, love your wife as you love your own body, but your wife can start to ache. Your wife can start to become a problem, and then which you would have to fix it. Because you love your body, you now have to fix it. You understand? You can't come with that scripture unless you know exactly what you're talking about. Drop that. Give me God, I want that one scripture where it says, and the aged women shall be speakers of good things. Maybe. All right, Most High Christ.
The book of Titus, chapter 2, verse 3.
Uh-huh.
The aged woman, likewise,
Uh-huh.
that they be in behavior as becoming holiness.
As becoming holiness. This
Alex,
is talking about the older women. This is talking about the mothers and the grandmothers and the great grandmothers. You understand? The ones who got some age on them, that they should be in behavior as becoming holiness. Meaning what? They should be separated from what they see on the TV screen. They shouldn't break Xboxes, and they shouldn't take out clothes and throw them everywhere. And they shouldn't run their mouth like they see on the TV screen. You understand? Like if you're a woman in the house and you breaking TVs and going through phones and doing all kinds of nonsense, you realize how terrible it is that's not abnormal. That's very normal for women in the world. It's very normal for women to act that way, to carry themselves that way. You shouldn't want to carry yourself that way, regardless of what. Regardless of whatever it is, you should be becoming holiness. Not wanting to be like those women on the TV screen. Not wanting to be like them. Because those women will never keep a man. They'll never keep a husband. That's why they always got different men. It's in your face. You see it all the time that they always have different men and they act the same way and always get different men, but yet somehow you believe that maybe me acting this way fixes the problem. It doesn't. I guarantee you he'll go get more women. I guarantee you'll have less time with him. I guarantee you everything you thought was bad, it'll get worse. Why? Because he loves you. He loves you so much that when your body starts to ache, you have to nip it in the bud, and sometimes you have to chop your arm off because you can't allow that pain to just grow. You can't allow that poison to run through. You have to stop it. And so if you as a man leaving, or if you as a man removing yourself from a situation and chastising her and correcting her and telling her that she's wrong for what she's doing is going to fix it, then brother, amputate that goddamn arm. It's going to hurt. You understand? You may feel like it's a good job. It's like brothers just have fun having to chastise their wife. Like they have fun having to argue and having to yell and having to fight. It is not fun. You understand? But because we care, but because we love you like we love our own body, we have to push ourselves through that pain of dealing with you. You understand? That's what we have to do. We have to deal with you on the daily for hours. We have to argue with you on a daily for hours. We have to come home and not have food cooked and still fight with you as if we should be talking about any goddamn thing for hours.
Right.
Because we love you like we love ourselves.
That's right.
You understand? If we didn't love you, it wouldn't be no argument.
Right.
If I didn't love my body, if it's starting hurting, I would say, well, this poison going through me, and I'm surely going to die, and I really don't care. You understand? I'm not going to do nothing about it.
Right.
You understand? But the women should be in behavior, man, and come like in holiness, separated from that nonsense that you see on TV. Separated from those actions that you hear about in movies and you see and sisters in the world doing. You should be in holiness. Keep going. Oh, Salakia.
What verse we? I got you.
Verse 3.
Titus, right? Mm-hmm. Salakia. The book of Titus, chapter 2 and verse 3. The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers.
Not false accusers. You understand? You no good. You a terrible baby father. You never here. You never doing this. You never. Like, you understand what never means?
Right.
Never. Like, I've never smoked crack, ever.
Right.
That means never once.
Right.
Not even a tiny bit.
Right.
You understand? For you to say, you never here. You never do this. You never. Your woman love to say that. Never. Stop being a false accuser, man.
Right.
Stop lying, man.
That's right.
I know in your heart and in your precious little soul, you believe that just because he wasn't there for 2 days out of the week, that means he's never home.
Right.
But stop lying, man. If he's never there, that means you would never have seen him. He's not there at all, period. You understand? You choose your words better or stop lying altogether.
Right.
Keep going.
Salakia.
Mm-hmm.
Not given to much wine. Teachers of good things.
Not giving too much wine. Don't be an alcoholic, man.
Right.
You don't want to be the sister that gets drunk and does stuff uncontrollably and starts arguments and wants to fight every goddamn body. And you want to be a teacher of good things. You understand? You a lot of our sisters got children. A lot of our sisters got daughters, and they watch how you act. They watch what you do. You understand? They growing up seeing how you threw daddy's clothes everywhere. They growing up seeing how you cursed this person out. How you went out and you was driving and you uncontrolled, got road rage and anger management problems. They seeing all the nonsense that you doing, and they learning from it. This is, and you know how you know? How do you know that this is true? How do you know? Because your mother did it.
Right.
Because your mother was a bitch.
Right.
That's why. Your mother was a bitch to your father, which is why your mother and your father are not together. That's why. She couldn't shut her damn mouth. She runs her mouth. She was breaking phones. She was going into phones. She was tearing clothes out the closet and throwing them in the yard. She was couldn't running her mouth, man. She was doing those things. And she was not a teacher of good things, and she taught you to be just like her. She taught you that it was okay. From a young age, you was twerking your behind and running your mouth with a dirty diaper on, running around, running your mouth, twerking by your behind, and learning to be just like your wicked mother. That's exactly what you do. So now this is what you do now. We have to stop that. The generation of children that are being raised today should not see that. They shouldn't know what it means for a woman to run her mouth. They should just know what it means for a woman to talk. Just talk. They shouldn't know what it means to hear a woman curse out her husband, to curse him out, to berate him, to tell him how he ain't this, to tell him how he ain't that. You understand? It's so confusing to a child. You understand how confused a child must be to hear all day that their daddy ain't this, daddy ain't that, he ain't shit, he a no good nigga, I wish he never came back home. But yet but I'm supposed to love daddy though. How am I gonna love this man? He's nothing. How am I gonna love him and he ain't shit? My daddy ain't nothing, because that's all I've heard my whole life. That's the problem in the black community, man. That's why you got a lot of sisters out here and brothers out here who don't even know their father and won't even search for him. Won't even give their fathers a chance, because they're filthy, disgusting mothers have taught them that their fathers are nothing. And that's the problem. When the truth is, your mother is disgusting, man. Your mother is fucking terrible. She is a goddamn dragon, and just because you're her daughter, you're her son, you believe that she could do no wrong in the earth when everything she has done is terrible. The way she raised you was terrible. The way you are is terrible. The life you lived is terrible. The schools you went to was terrible. The food you ate was terrible. The men you dated were terrible because she didn't teach you what men to date. Everything you've done in your life was terrible, which is why you're here now complaining, man. Which is why you're exactly where you're at right now, because the women above you have taught you nothing. You over here learning how to cook, learning how to make biscuits from scratch, learning how to be a mother while you understand that women today learn how to be mothers by having children? Do you understand how terrible that is? You learn to be a mother by having to do it, when you should be being taught how to be a mother from your mother. She should be teaching you what to do, teaching you how to do this, teaching you how to be a wife, how to not run your mouth. She should be teaching you, look, you're going to go out and you're going to have your husband one day. You're not stronger than your husband. You understand? You're not going to beat your husband. You're not going to berate your husband. You're not going to embarrass me by doing those kinds of things. That's what a woman should be teaching her daughter, man, to protect her. So that when she goes out and picks a man, she picks a right man. So that if she goes out and has a man, she knows how to deal with a man who may have an alcohol problem, who may have an anger management problem. She'll know that my mother taught me not to raise my voice to no man, so I'm not. So that he won't have a reason to even beat me. So that he won't even have a reason to want to knock me upside my head. These are the kinds of things that all women should be being taught. How to not do certain things, how to do certain things. You understand? But instead, we just taught that you need to be independent. You need to get a good job, and you need to have your fun. You don't know how many mothers how many women I done been with in the world that have their mothers have advised them not to settle down so young, not to get a husband so young, not to dwell over issues with a man that you with at so young. Mind you, we like 19, 20 years old. You understand? She'd rather her be a whore.
Right.
She'd rather her go and soil her royal oats as if she could. Right. You understand? And that's the life that we're living in. That's the spectrum that we're in today when it comes to all women, man. And the older sisters who's supposed to be teaching our women differently. You understand? Keep going. Verse 4, Baba Kushah.
Come. Verse 4. That they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children.
To do what?
To love their husbands.
To hate their husbands.
To love their husbands.
To disobey their husbands.
To love their husbands.
To do whatever the hell they want to do.
To love their husbands.
To love their husband. How do you love your husband, man? By following him, man. You understand? You love the men above you by following their order. You understand? Keep going. Everything's what?
To love their children.
And how do you love your children? You're above your children, so you set the example, man. You give them righteous orders. You train them up on how to be righteous daughters and righteous sons. That's how you love your children. Keep going.
Verse 5. To be discreet.
To be discreet, man. Stop posting the problems with your husband on the goddamn internet, man. Stop going to Facebook to post every goddamn issue you have with your husband so the world can see. Be discreet about the problems that you may have. Be discreet. You understand? Stop running your mouth to every goddamn body. Keep going.
Chaste. Keepers at home.
Keepers at home, man. Stay your ass in the house. Stop wanting to be on every scene.
Right.
The scene ain't for you, man. You understand? That's not for you. You are a wife. You're a mother. Stay home, man, with them kids, man. Keep the house up. Make sure the house is clean. Keep going.
Good. Obedient.
Oh, what?
Obedient.
Oh, listen to their own desires.
Obedient.
Oh, just listen sometimes.
Obedient.
Only listen, whenever he's treating you right.
Obedient. To their own husband.
To their own husband, man. No stipulation. Follow what your husband says to do. Regardless of what the hell you say, there's nothing you can say that is going to off script what this is talking about. Obedient to your husband. You understand? You want to be a righteous sister of the Lord, but your husband telling you to do something and you not doing it, then there is no way that you are following the Most High. It's no way in hell that you love God and you're disobedient to your husband. It's not possible. It's not possible. Whether your husband didn't bring you the food, whether he didn't go to the store for you, whether he didn't send you the money to get your nails done, whether you're mad for whatever freaking reason you're mad about, if you're not obedient to your husband, then you are not serving the Most High. You're serving your goddamn self, man. You understand? Keep going.
Come. That the word of the word of God be not blasphemed.
That the word of God be not a damn lie, man. You understand? This is how we should be raising our sisters up. This is how we should be raising our daughters up, man. To stop letting Satan rule your life. To stop letting Satan rule every action that you have with your husband, man. As a woman, you got to gird your loins up. You understand? Nothing about what we teaching is supposed to be easy. Nothing about this is easy. You're going to have a man that's going to get on your everlasting nerves. I'm telling you right now, you're going to have a husband that you're going to quote unquote hate to death. But the Lord said to obey that man. Regardless of what he's doing, man. Obey him. Love that man. Build that man up. Show that man some respect. Show that man some love, man, even when he's wrong. That's how you build him up. You don't build him up by breaking him down. You understand? By threatening him, by kicking him out the house, by keying his car, putting sugar in his gas tank. You don't build him up by doing that, man. And you damn sure don't keep a man by doing that. You understand? A lot of brothers in the world don't realize that a man can have more than one woman. So they stuck. They feel like they stuck with this beast. Keying their car and putting sugar in their goddamn tank. They feel like that's just it for them. But you understand, you don't even want to be that type of woman. You don't even want to be that type of sister, man. You want to be the type of woman that through all things and everything, you stood true to who you are. You stood true to who you supposed to be. You did what you had to do, regardless if the people around you was doing what they had to do. You understand? Like, imagine a brother coming into the school, and I see a brother, and a brother's not doing what he's supposed to do. What the hell does that have to do with me? You understand? If a brother is smoking weed or doing whatever he's doing, that doesn't change how I'm supposed to act according to the Most High. That doesn't mean that I go and berate that brother and rob him and to steal from him or to harm that brother in a way, even though he may be doing wrong. You understand? So as a wife, your husband may not be perfect. He may not understand exactly yet how to, go get the flowers and bring the flowers to you and whatever the hell else. Now, I've never been that type of person. I can't understand. It's not wrong to do those kinds of things, but me personally, I haven't grasped the whole romantic thing yet. That's romanticism to me is like, it makes me feel weird. Like I feel uncomfortable. It made me feel like, you understand, like to go, I could never see, like I was, growing up, I used to believe in like the paper marriage. Right. And I used to be so uncomfortable with the fact, like, I'm gonna have to get on my knee in front of people. Like, that's not gonna be comfortable for me. I don't know how, but like, and then, another thing that scared me, I've never been to an actual wedding, but there's a part, if I'm not mistaken, in a wedding where like you gotta talk. Hell nah. Hell nah. I can't do it. I'm like, I think you gotta get up there and say, from the second I met you, like, like, I knew you was the one, and I'm just like gonna be looking back like, everybody up in this mug looking at me. I'm like, it's not me and you may kiss the bride. I'm gonna be like, this nigga, that's it. Like, all right, get out of here, kiss you on the forehead or something. I can't do it. You ask any one of my ribs, any woman I've ever been with and walked in the mall with, man, I cannot hold your hand. I can't. It's something. I'm not romantic. Like I can't do it. I can't walk holding your hand. It's like, I need my hands ready. I need them in my pocket or something. I can't do it. You understand? But even if your man may be that way, obey him anyway, man. Obey him anyway. Treat him with respect anyway. Your man may be, you understand, rough around the edges. He may not know how to talk. He may be a brother who just, you come in the house, he be like, what did I tell you to do? You told me to get the mail. Did you do it? Yes, I did it. Here. It's just like, damn. He's like, oh, why are you talking like that? What you mean, why am I talking like this? You think he mad. That's just how he is. You may have a man like that. Love and obey that man, even though he scares the hell out of you every time he talks. You understand? Obey that man. That's the man you chose to sleep with. And you don't want to make yourself worthless by sleeping with a man that you're not going to obey. That's what they say, that energy crap, that's whore energy. That's what they say. That's the energy of a whore, to sleep with a man that they have no intentions of doing nothing to, doing nothing for. No intentions of obeying at all. You don't want to be that, man. You don't want to make yourself into something like that. You understand? Give me that one scripture. It says, I think it's Ephesians 5:22. God. You don't want to be that type of woman, man. God, if I'm not mistaken. You want to be the type of woman that, you understand that, and again, this may come down, especially for a lot of sisters in the truth. If you got a wife that's supposedly in the truth, you understand, as a wife, you're going to have to look in the mirror, man. You're going to have to check yourself. Check yourself right now, man, and ask yourself the question, are you in this truth because you chasing after a man, or are you in this truth because you here to serve the Most High? You understand? And if your answer is that you in this truth because you here to serve the Most High, then you need to, the next time your husband tell you to do something, you need to remember that. You understand? You need to put it on your wall every day you wake up that I'm in here to serve the Most High. So when you go through tribulations, when your husband is doing something that you don't like, when there's problems that's coming up in the household, you understand, feelings that you may have, emotions that you may have, you remember how you supposed to act, man. Regardless of what's going on around you, you keep your integrity, man. Keep your integrity. You understand? There's been plenty of sisters who've been married, you understand, to men in the world, but because of the truth, they knew that they could not leave him. They had to stay with that man, and that man probably was smoking weed, eating pork, doing all kinds of nasty things to that sister. But as a sister in the school, you have to keep your integrity. Keep your integrity regardless of what. Because I guarantee you, you think that you got it all bad. There is some woman somewhere tied up in the basement right now by her husband. There is some woman right now who is getting beat on tonight. What time? It's 8. At 9:30 tonight, there will be a woman getting beat on by her husband. It's going to happen. It's probably happening right now. Somewhere there is not in the truth, but somewhere there is a woman who is tied up, about to get beat on. The husband just cracked the bottle. He's about to get drunk. He's about to do it right now. You're not living that life, man. You should say Barakataya Hawaya Shah for the husband that you have. That's what you should say. You, especially if your husband in the truth. You got a man that'll die for you, man. You may not have a man that'll hold your hand in the goddamn park or make a love song for you or write a poem or something like that. I never understood that neither. Like two woods diverged in a yellow wind, red roses and all that nonsense, man. You may not have that man. You may not have the man who is all so much concerned about if your nails got painted or not. But you got a husband, man, that loves you. You got a husband that will not put his hands on you. You got a husband that serves the Most High. And in serving the Most High, he will not ever leave you for nothing. You understand? You should say Barakatah Hawaya Shah for that. Thank the Lord that you have that. And remember that all of your friends are still going through man after man after man after man after man after man. Look at all of your friends. The next time you mad at your husband, look at your friends and see how many men they have been through since last year. And then say, Barakatah Hawaya Shah, that my man and I are still here. That we're still here. He still ain't holding my hand in the mall, but we're goddamn it, we in this motherfucker. You understand? Salakia. Read what you got.
Salakia. The book of Ephesians chapter 5 verse 22. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands.
Submit yourselves unto your own husband, man. Submit yourself. Meaning what? What does it mean to submit?
To give authority to.
To yield to the authority too. You understand? Meaning what? You arguing, you heated, you mad, and your husband says what? Shut your mouth. Stop talking. What should you do as a wife? You should shut your mouth and stop talking. Shut it. You understand? Because that is the Most High talking to you. You don't even know it. You don't even know that the Lord is using your husband right now to speak to you. He's telling you, he's telling Thabawan, tell your rib to be quiet. Because she has no idea what she is boiling a pot that once it spills over, everything is troubled at that point. And the Lord is telling you, shut your mouth. You understand? Be quiet before this brother ends up in prison. Be quiet. Just stop. You understand? And you should obey that, man. Obey that, because you're not going to beat your husband in an argument. If you have a husband in the truth and you beat him in an argument, I feel bad for you. I feel bad that you have a husband that you can beat in anything. If you can out-argue your husband, I feel bad for you. If you can physically beat your husband, I feel bad for you. But if you have any goddamn sense about you, you should know that you can't win. You can't win. What they say on the Wiz with the scarecrow? You can't win. You can't get even, and you can't get out of this game. You need to listen to that song, man, because you can't win, you can't get even, and you can't get out of this goddamn marriage. So what should you do? You should shut the hell up and realize that there's nothing else. Just be quiet. You understand? Because you're not going to beat me up. You're not going to out-argue me. And you're not going to do nothing. You better find a different route off of that goddamn scarecrow, whatever, tree, whatever he was on. You better find a different route in this. Because I'm sorry to tell you, but you did not marry no pussy. You didn't get married to no bitch. You didn't do it. You got married to a man that other niggas in the street can't even check. So what the hell do you think that you dealing with? You should just be quiet and just love your husband. You should look at him and say, damn, I got me a goddamn. You understand like how you look at you ever have a friend that got one of them humongous dogs? You understand? To you like, man, this nigga better not get out the cage. But as an owner of the dog, you looking at the dog like, yo, I got me a beast. And you love that beast. Even though he could, if he wanted to, that dog get out the cage, he could mess you up. But you love that dog and you respect it for what it is, man, a beast. And that's what you got as a husband. You got an authority over you that's stronger than you. He's stronger than you. Understand that and obey that man. You understand? Because he's telling you to be quiet for a reason. You may not understand it. You may not see it now. And it may hurt yourself. It may hurt your feelings that he's telling you to shut your mouth. It may hurt, and I know it's gonna hurt. But you gotta understand that in this life, in this work, in this body, we all have somebody that we follow up under. You understand? It's not just you as a wife. It's not just you. Brothers in here have to follow an authority. You understand? Can you imagine Captain Ayatak, you understand, telling me, Yaramak, I want you to paint the wall in the school. I want you to paint it blue. And I say, Khan, I don't want Khan. And then somebody goes and tells Cap, says, Cap, yo, why is the walls painted black? And Cap calls me and says, Yaramak, hear this. What? He checks the hell out of me. I ain't gonna say what he was saying. And he's checking the hell out of me. What the hell do you think I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to say, Cap, who in the hell you talking to? I painted the goddamn walls blue. I did what you said, Cap. You better check who you talking. That's how I'm supposed to. That's what I'm supposed to do. That's how I'm supposed to act. Mind you, he's chewing me out about something that's not even true. I did paint. Maybe the brother looked in the window and because of the reflection, he thought it was black. So he told him some false information. Cap is chewing me out off of something that's not true. Is that how I'm supposed to respond to the man above me? What am I supposed to do? Shut my mouth and hear this. I'm going to hear everything he got to say. And then what I'm going to do after that? I'm Tabu one.
You're going to say, Khan, Salakia, sir, I did paint the school the color you told me to, sir. I'm not sure why, but I can show you.
What you mean? What you mean?
Salakia, sir, I can go to the school and take a picture and show you. I painted it.
So you're saying you painted it blue?
Khan on one Khan.
Is it a dark blue?
Khan on Khan.
Send me a picture.
Khan on Khan, sir.
He get the picture and understand. And Cap being a righteous brother, Cap being a righteous father, what do you think he's gonna do?
He's gonna say,
he gonna call you back and he's gonna say, Salakia, brother, I thought that you painted it black. My bad. My fault.
Right.
The water, brother. Good work. Good work for getting it done. And guess what? We brothers, man.
That's right.
You gained a brother.
Right.
You go to camp and now you'll die by that brother, man. You understand? That's the beauty of this. That's the beauty of that authority of this school of what Commander General Yana has set up. That even in an altercation like that, the order is kept. And because the order is kept, the righteousness of the Lord it's prevalent, man. It's prevalent. That's stuff that on the outside world, they don't understand it. On the outside world, You call a brother and say, didn't I tell you to do this, that, and the third? They are ready to come back at your neck and fight because you're wrong and they're right. That's what we cannot do here. But even brothers have to do that. Even brothers have to serve under that authority, man. So as a wife, as a woman, you have to learn that you have to serve under that same authority. Because I guarantee you ain't going to beat Cap. I don't give a damn how right you are. You ain't going to beat Cap because you've already lost when you ran your goddamn mouth. You've already lost. It don't matter if the wall was painted burgundy, but you're running your mouth to the man who feeds you. You're running your mouth to the man who provided this goddamn school. So how the hell you going to beat him? You can't. You should check yourself, man. Check who the hell you talking to before you just open your mouth to the men that's above you, to the husband that's above you, to the mothers that's above you if you're a child. Your children should check themselves before they talk to you any certain way. But you can understand that. But that's the order of this school, man. That's the order of the earth that the Lord has set up, man. And we all fall up under that order. So we all have to gird our loins and do what the Lord said. You understand? For a woman, do what your husband said because the Lord said it. Finish that scripture up.
As unto the Lord.
Read it from the top.
The book of Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 22. Mm-hmm. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husband as unto the Lord.
As unto the Lord. Meaning you shouldn't make the difference between the Lord and your husband. It shouldn't be as if there was a difference between the two. If the Lord came down right now and said, hey, look, daughter, you need to use your credit card to go put it down on this whatever the hell, you would do it because the Lord said it. Well, if your husband says it, the Lord is saying it. And you should do it the same way. Keep going.
Verse 23. Mm-hmm. For the husband is the head of the wife. Even as Christ is the head of the church.
For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church. And Christ loves the church, man. As a husband shall love his wife. But that doesn't mean that Christ let his church get out of order. Christ went up in that school and he whipped them Sadducees and Pharisees up out of the church because of the nonsense that they was doing. That's so right. As a husband, you have to do the same thing for your woman. You got to love the church as Christ loved. You got to love your wife as Christ loved the church, meaning you have to chastise her. You have to not allow her to do the things that she's doing. Can't allow her to run her mouth when she's not supposed to, because you understand that kind of behavior is going to do what? It's going to get her killed, man. These women, your wife having an attitude problem like that will get her killed, because she's going to go onto the street and she'll talk to a man of authority like that. She'll talk to a cop like she's crazy and a cop will kill her. She'll go and talk to her boss like she's crazy and the boss will fire her. She'll go in the streets to some club and she'll talk to some nigga like that and the nigga will shoot her outside of the club because she doesn't know how to talk to a man, clearly because her mother has never taught her how to not run her mouth to a man. So it's your job to save her life. Teach her how to shut the hell up, man. Teach her how to be obedient, how to not run her mouth, so that when she goes into the world, she won't die running her mouth on the street. You understand? You understand? Is there any more on that? I ain't gonna go into it. Is there any more on that?
Salakia, Khan.
Mm-hmm.
And he is the savior of the body.
And he is like I just said, tell your woman to shut her mouth so before she dies in the street somewhere, running her mouth to somebody she ain't got no business running her mouth to. You understand? Because he's the savior of the body and your husband is your savior. You understand? When you was in the world, you was sleeping with everybody. When you was in the world, you was smoking all the weed. You ain't know what to do. You was running around being a whore like a chicken with your head cut off. You ain't know nothing about the Lord. You didn't know nothing about the Most High, about Christ, about the disciples, about the Sadducees and Pharisees, about Esau and Jacob. You didn't know nothing about that. And now you up in here, you understand, not eating shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster, but disobeying your husband as if he ain't saved your goddamn life, man. Obey your man because he is the one who saved you, man. He is the one. If you telling yourself right now that you'll never go back to smoking weed, you'll never go back to eating pork, you'll never go back to eating shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster and getting tattoos and doing all kinds of wicked things, then when your husband tell you to shut the hell up, you shut your mouth because he's the one who saved you from them wicked things, man. You understand? And with that, I'm going to pass the class over to Precinct Officer Thaba One. Shit, son, you gotta say it.
No sweat.
I thought you said click it.
That is all. You go handle that, brother. I don't know what that was. It's right over there. I think it's like a cricket or something. Word, bro. That's what I seen earlier. You see me?
Yeah, I didn't know what you was looking at.
ISUPK security announcements. We got an ISUPK. Start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means 10th in Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashera. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation will, of course, be the closing of the Feast of Tabernacles. You understand? That's going down. It's like this Friday at sundown, right? You can find this in Leviticus 23, chapter 34, verse 44. So we're going to be getting down, you know what I'm saying, closing the feast, you know what I mean, bring your food out, or you know what I mean, and brothers and sisters of the Akim get together and close out this feast. If you want to bring some food, just let the priest know. You know what I'm saying? We'll get in contact with Officer Abraham, who was, you know what I'm saying, over that department, and we'll make sure that whatever dish you want to bring or whatever victuals you want to bring, we have already prepared and known ahead of time. So you want to let us know as soon as possible. Again, that's this Friday, okay? Want to remind Akim and Akwathin to check on social media such as isupk.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, he needs to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, Imadium.